Banana Hammock is one of the hardest 6Cs I've ever tried. A beautifully delicate climb following the sloping banana-shaped ledge while trusting minute sloping footholds and finishing with a satisfying slap out left to the final blunt erect. Starting with hands in the crack, you use the big foot ledge below to reach up to a good 3-finger dish. Here you pull up and prepare to tackle the slopers. I could just about reach the top one, which has a tiny 1-pad dimple in it for the index finger, just enough to get a little bit of bite out of. Then for the tiny feet, there are many to choose from. After a lot of trial and error, I settled on the tiny right foot, sloping slightly towards the left, meaning I could push down and right on it. Then, bringing left foot up to a non-angled dish, it meant I could wrap my left toe around it, pull my hips over to the left so I could hang my weight in the direction opposing the dreadful slopers. It took many tries to figure out how to use these correctly in a way that stopped me from sliding off the slopers, and how to get enough purchase on them to do the final few moves. If you manage to stick to the slopers and get the feet right, then there are only a couple of moves left. You balance carefully and trust the feet, reaching up left to the sloping dish, and use it to bump with a bit of commitment to the final good blunt erect. Here, the weight comes off the feet and you feel a sense of relief as you bump the right hand up and scramble over the peak of the erect. An amazing and incredibly tricky climb. With enough practice and precision, with a good brush of the holds, relaxing in your mind, and with Mabel watching, it can all come together and feel not so bad. I tried this boulder for the first time almost 2 years ago when I first came to Bowls Rocks, and since then it has always been unfathomable to me how to use the awful feet and slopers. Even at the start of the session today it felt completely impossible and I almost felt like giving up straight away. But somehow it resulted in ascend, and although this will not always happen, the process did make me aware of some new things. The mind can be so quick in denying its ability to perform. I learnt how overly dramatic our attitude can be. It can be hard to fail at something that we've tried before, that is familiar to us, because we have so many expectations attached to it. It's funny to see how the mind can get so worked up and frame a positive, enjoyable experience into something to which our ego depends. Either a boulder becomes something that we need to send, or we need to avoid it to protect our ego. The problem is this incessant need that the mind has. But taking a step back from expectations to perform leads to a much more enjoyable, relaxed and fulfilling experience, whether it is in climbing or any other area of life. We can just be present, enjoy the moment without making our happiness conditional on any external result. And paradoxically, doing this ends up leading to better results anyway, so really it's a win-win. If you don't achieve, you've still had a great time, and if you achieve, then that's obviously great. In climbing, we can experience negative self-talk, but this is a good opportunity to practice mindfulness. We can practice just listening to our minds, smiling and not taking it all too seriously, practicing acceptance of our body and our chaotic mind and not giving into it by fighting with it. This is how we start to detach from our mind in a positive way. Relax into the moment, climb without expectation. Just be absorbed in the movements and the feeling of being outdoors. Being present and climbing mindfully can spill over into other areas of life until every moment is filled with this calm sense of presence and serenity. We can always reflect upon how the day went and how our minds reacted. Were we caught up in past regrets or anxieties about the future? Or were we able to practice living here and now? This climb today made me reflect upon my journey with anxiety in the past, in which many things used to seem completely impossible. But through trying things anyway and learning slowly over time about how the mind works, you start to learn how to relax in these situations, and you're able to do the things that you never thought you'd be able to do. And you can even repeat them to the point where they don't feel difficult and even feel fun. So this climb today was sort of like a mini encapsulation of this journey that I've been through in some other area of my life. So it's like climbing as a mirror that can show us deeper truths about ourselves, extending to other areas of our lives. We just need to know where to look and to remember to be kind to ourselves. Then it will become clearer and more apparent the great potential that we have.